When it comes to storytelling, especially in popular media, we're used to seeing one truth play out over and over again. The righteous, noble hero usually comes out on top. Think about your favorite movies or anime: Captain America fighting for freedom and justice, or Naruto fighting to protect his friends and create a better world. We often expect the characters with the most virtuous cause to be the one who wins. It's not just about strength, but about who has the right idea, the kind of ideal that's universally considered good. This is how stories typically go. But then there's Chainsaw Man. In Chainsaw Man, the usual rules don't apply. This series flips the script on its head, showing us that it's not always about having the most righteous or noble cause. Instead, it's about who's willing to give more, who has the most grit, the most resolve, even if what they're fighting for seems trivial or downright ridiculous. And what makes Chainsaw Man so unique. I've been reading the series, currently up to chapter 91, so if I see any changes or expansion on this idea in future chapters, I might make an update video. But so far, I've noticed that Chainsaw Man keeps flipping the script on what we think should matter in a fight. Today, I want to explore that very idea. How, in Chainsaw Man, characters with the grandest goals can still lose, while Denji, fighting for the simplest desires, continues to win. And believe me, it's not because Denji has the most righteous cause, but rather it's because he has the strongest resolve. But before we begin, please make sure to like and subscribe, as that would mean a lot to me, and comment below your thoughts on the series. Now, let's look at some of the characters in Chainsaw Man who embody those grand ideals. Take Aki, for example. From the moment that he's introduced, it's clear that Aki's fighting for something big: revenge. His entire goal is to kill the Gun Devil, the creature responsible for taking away his family. This isn't just some personal vendetta. It's a mission fueled by the desire for vengeance and to prevent more suffering and loss for others. To Aki, defeating the Gun Devil is an important, dare I say, noble cause. It's about justice, protection, and ending the threat once and for all. And Aki is not the only one with this type of motivation. Throughout the series, you encounter other characters who are driven by grand ideals. Some characters like Makima who have outright monumental ambitions. Whether it's protecting the world, avenging loved ones, or ending what they see as evil, these characters represent the classic trope we've come to expect: fighting for something bigger than themselves. But here's the thing: despite their noble goals, many of these characters just don't succeed. In fact, Chainsaw Man goes out of its way to show that having a righteous reason to fight doesn't necessarily lead to victory. Aki, for all his good intentions and lofty goals, can't beat the odds. Despite dedicating his entire life to defeating the Gun Devil, he ends up tragically caught in the very cycle of violence and manipulation he was trying to destroy. In the end, his noble ideals are what led to his very death. Now, contrast this with Denji. From the very beginning, Denji's motivations couldn't be more different from characters like Aki or Makima. He doesn't have some grand righteous cause. He isn't fighting for revenge or to save the world from all evil. In fact, Denji's desires are, well, they're pretty basic, and everyone doubts him because of it. When we first meet him, all he wants is enough food to eat, a comfortable place to sleep, and maybe, just maybe, a chance to go on a date with a girl. For Denji, the idea of becoming a hero or fighting for some greater cause isn't even on his radar. He just wants the simple things in life. Things that most people, not only in the world of the story, but within the real world as well, just take for granted. And that's where the contrast really starts to show. While other characters are driven by ideals that seem big and noble, Denji is motivated by things that seem trivial or even crude by comparison. Aki wants to kill the gun devil to avenge his family. Denji, he just wants some noodles and to feel up on some tits. And the thing is, he's completely unapologetic about it. He doesn't hide his desires behind a veneer of righteousness, and that's something we rarely see in these kinds of stories. But what makes Denji truly interesting isn't just that he has these simple desires, it's that he believes in them. He craves these desires more than anyone else does with their own goals by comparison. He's willing to fight tooth and nail, throw himself into life or death situations, all for the sake of these very basic, very human things. It's his sheer commitment to his desires that allow him to push through situations that would break most people. Even characters who seem to have much more noble reasons for fighting can only stare and marvel at the lengths he is willing to push himself for such simple things. You'd expect a character with such trivial desires to be the first to fall in a world as brutal as Chainsaw Man's. After all, how could someone fighting for noodles and dates compete with characters who have deep, life-changing goals? But in Chainsaw Man, it's not about the grandeur of your goal. It's about how much you're willing to give up to achieve it. And this is where Denji shines. Time and time again, we see Denji push himself to extreme lengths. Whether he's facing down devils far stronger than him, losing limbs, or even sacrificing his humanity in small, subtle ways, Denji doesn't back down. He's willing to give everything, his blood, his pain, his very identity, just for a shot at the simple things he's never had. And while the more noble characters fight for justice, revenge, or saving the world, it's Denji's gritty determination to fulfill his own desires that sets him apart and pushes him beyond. The characters with grand ideals often falter because their goals, as noble as they might be, don't carry the same personal primal weight for them. They're abstract, distant, and while they might be important, they don't fuel the same raw drive that Denji's desires do. When you look at Aki, for example, his quest for revenge feels more like a burden, a duty that's weighing him down rather than lifting him up. His goal is noble, but it consumes him. Denji, on the other hand, has nothing to lose. He's lived at the bottom, so when he's fighting, he's not just fighting for a goal, he's fighting to survive, to experience the smallest joys that everyone else just takes for granted. He's more willing to sacrifice and go the extra mile because to him these small things are, well, they're everything. In the end, Chainsaw Man challenges the typical narrative where the most righteous or noble character inevitably triumphs. Instead, it shows us a world where survival, grit, and sheer determination often mean more than grand ideals. While other characters may fight for giant causes or dreams, it's Denji's relentless commitment to his simple desires that drives him forward, giving him the edge in a world where strength comes not from the righteousness of your cause, but from how far you're willing to go to achieve it. It's a reflection of the human condition, showing us that sometimes it's not the size of your dreams that matter, but the intensity of your resolve. But that is all I have for today. If you enjoyed, please make sure to like and subscribe, as that would mean everything to me, and comment below what you thought of my assessment, as I'd love to hear it. With all that out the way, I hope you all have a great day, and peace out.